So the most important part of for you in every health condition, don't focus on the symptoms. Don't focus on hyperglycemia, because hyperglycemia can be caused by anything, including eating or leaking sugar. Even eating sugar can cause you hyperglycemia. That is not enough to classify you as a diabetic person. My friends, insulin is the reason why most people are fat. Insulin is one thing that is one medicine that will make you never lose that weight. If you are told trying to lose weight, insulin will actually inhibit you from losing weight. Insulin is one drug that will take you into hypoglycemia. So you tell me this. You give me an injection, I go into hypoglycemia. Guess what I want? My body sends me to cravings to eat sugar, and then my blood glucose go up. Now I need another insulin dose to bring it down. So I keep on playing with the system. And that's why you tell me it's always irreversible. Diabetes type 1 can never be reversed. You will be on insulin for a lifetime. So you just want me to eat what I've been eating and then take insulin from you, of course, because it's business, and keep injecting myself with that insulin. Do you know how irritating injecting insulin every day is? Do you even know how irritating people taking a blood sugar test every day, pricking their fingers, how tiresome that is? Nobody tells you that the only reason why you need insulin is because you're eating carbohydrates. It's because you're eating lean protein. So they will actually tell you to eat that lean protein. But protein is converted into glucose. Excess of it is converted into glucose. That will need insulin to send it into the cells. These guys are clean. They actually said, now you have low insulin or you don't produce insulin at all. Now your blood sugars are misbehaving, but they're not going into the cells. And then your body thinks you're starving. And when the body thinks you're starving, what it does is keeps on struggling. Now you need an external shot of insulin to send this glucose into the cells. And now your body starts to burn fat, starts to burn muscle, so you start losing weight because the body thinks you're starving because no glucose is going from blood into the cells. Up to that moment, perfect illustration, very good illustration. Very good illustration. If you realize that I've never talked about type 1 diabetes and I'm asking this question for you to open up your head, are there answers in those insulin therapies? That's the question of the day. I'm actually telling somebody that you're not designed to be on insulin for a lifetime. I'm actually telling somebody that classification of diabetes was a scam. I'm actually telling somebody that insulin therapy is the reason why you'll never recover from diabetes, and that's the reason why I will tell you that diabetes is irreversible. Because I know once you're on that insulin therapy, it's for a lifetime. If you're an arthritis patient, if I put you on that injection that you injected in the knee after 3 months, that injection for steroids, I'm telling you that you'll be on this injection for a lifetime because your adrenal will shut down. When they shut down, they cannot protect you. Now, let's go back. Autoimmune. How do we treat autoimmune? I have actually put up videos about autoimmune conditions. Listen to this. When a child is growing, your cells are rapidly multiplying. Your pancreatic cells, regardless of the genetics, regardless of the autoimmune, your cells can still rejuvenate. What we need to address is, where are we getting this autoimmune from, even though we are questioning the classification of diabetes? Okay, let's give them a benefit of doubt that is actually type 1 is an autoimmune and your own cells are targeting your beta cells, so you know insulin. So where did we get this autoimmune from? You will realize that gland that is on top of your kidneys that is called the adrenal gland produces natural steroids, cortisol and aldosterone. Aldosterone helps you to maintain blood pressure. Cortisol is a stress hormone, but above all, that cortisol hormone is the one that instructs your immune system not to target their cells. It's actually the one that tells the immune system, stop overreacting. So if you have a shutdown in the adrenals, you're already shutting down the pancreas because you're telling the immune system you can target those beta cells and you can now make this guy to become type 1 diabetic. So giving you insulin therapy, has it healed the autoimmune? Has it targeted the cause? Because yes, of course, how do we know the cause but we don't know the treatment? So I gave you insulin therapy, a higher dose of insulin, morning and evening. I kept on encouraging you to eat the carbohydrates because when I give you insulin, I'm actually telling you, keep eating what you've been eating. I have a solution for you in terms of that injection. So the most important part for you in every health condition, don't focus on the symptoms. Don't focus on hyperglycemia, because hyperglycemia can be caused by anything, including eating or leaking sugar. Even eating sugar can cause you hyperglycemia. That is not enough to classify you as a diabetic person. So look at these children. They've eaten sugar all through, But until they got into their adolescence, that's the time when you realized that these guys are type 1 diabetic. They were born with an autoimmune condition that was killing their pancreas. So where were you until this time? They're teenagers. That's when you're diagnosing them. I thought if they're type 1 diabetic, they would have shown the symptoms from the time they took their first suckle on their nipple of the mother. Or rather, breast milk doesn't have glucose. It does. We should have seen that from the word go. When they got into primary school or those kindergartens, they took those sweets, they drank that yogurt, and most of you feed them with even soda. So you never realize this, that this was not diagnosed at this early stage. How is it diagnosed in the teenage stage? When these children are getting to high levels of estrogen in their systems, they are into their puberty, and now their systems are overreacting, and now we just diagnose them with autoimmune, and now it's a death sentence. You have to take insulin or you die. Insulin therapy was designed for emergency purposes. Those people who have DKA, diabetic ketoacidosis, and we'll also have to question that diabetic ketoacidosis because it's actually coming in as a result of type 1 diabetes. So diabetes, to me, is just diabetes. It's a sugar problem, just drop the sugar. And if at all you've been diagnosed of type 1 diabetes, what do? 1 meal a day is enough. And that meal, make it clean keto. Make that protein fatty so that you don't overeat it, because the body does not know how to store protein. It will convert it into glucose and you'll suffer the consequences. So go on 1 meal a day. Don't buy that story that you will faint and you will die because of low energy. My friend, if you're diabetic, you already have a lot of energy that you're not utilizing. That's why you have a lot of glucose in your urine. That's why you're getting that thirst, because when you flush out glucose, you flush out water, you start getting thirsty. You have a lot of it in the system already. You have a lot of glucose, and glucose is energy. So if you're diabetic, of course, high blood glucose. So you have a lot of glucose in the system already. Can you just think through that direction? There's no way you can be diabetic and have low energy. It doesn't make sense. You have glucose in the system and it's high already. So that's a lot of energy. So utilize that energy.